Michael Jackson's facial transformation shocked the world. At the time, many saw him as a freak. But today, behind the closed doors of clinics across the globe, people are changing their race.
What I dream about is how to look white, how to become white, how to look white and beautiful.
I want a straighter, more European nose.
No, 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 Jet, don't do it, girl.
Welcome to the brave new world of deracialization, where surgeons can change your identity, making you whiter, more European.
It's not cool to be Indian and it's not attractive to be Indian.
It is a part of globalization process where the ethnic differences are going to be narrower and narrower.
Whether you want longer legs, less body hair, or a larger penis, a Caucasian nose, wider eyes, or even a stronger jawline, in the hidden world of deracialization, anything is possible.
Be happy in the skin that you are in. Stop fooling yourself and finding different excuses to pretend that you're doing it for other reasons. You're doing it because you're trying to become white.
Black girls, they don't want to further themselves. I mean, I'll see them and they'll be pushing a pram and smoking a cigarette. They just do not want to move on with their lives.
Glamour model Jet wants to change what she sees as her typically Caribbean nose and is planning surgery. On average, black female noses are more than 25% wider than those of white females.
But I look at my nose, it's quite a black nose, a black person's nose, and it doesn't really go with the way I look, so I think a straighter nose would suit me.
Jet lives in a gated community in a wealthy corner of Essex, a county that's 97% white. It's a million miles from where she grew up, a poor black area in the East End of London.
I'm the only black woman here, and I think there's like a black singer and a black footballer, and that's about it, really. I mean, all my friends are white, like my personal trainer's black, but that's about it, really. I could easily just be sitting down, smoking weed and not doing anything. But I can walk into Waitrose and hold my head up.
For 28-year-old Jet, Michael Jackson is a source of inspiration.
I can understand why Michael Jackson wanted to get rid of the typical black nose, because obviously to fit into this society you've got to look a bit more sort of European, and that's what he did.
In the black community, talk of changing your racial features is politically explosive. Jet is willing to confront her critics on a local radio show.
These are Jet's words. She would like to have more of a white nose and less of a black nose.
I want a straighter, more European nose, because if I smile, it goes wide, and that's a typical black nose with a bobble
Smile
at the
then,
end.
go on, go do it.
The bobble at the end and the two flares.
Well, show me.
Eh?
Smile. It's all right to me.
I've got a text here from D in Mitcham who says this, and you're not going to like it. Wow, that young lady is amazingly something vacuous. I really can't believe she's black or even in possession of a brain. Well, she's certainly black, D, in terms of your brain.
Is that a guy?
Well, D-E-E, so I presume it's a woman. I've got this one from Aminata who says, does she mean a, in quotes, white nose, or does she mean a small one? It's another more subtle form of racism to use racial words as interchangeable with adjectives, i.e. white equals small, pretty, black equals big, ugly.
Jet is taken aback by the ferocity of the comments, but they've merely reinforced her desire to escape her black roots.
I don't know why black girls like that with me. Maybe it's because they think I'm an embarrassment to black people or something like that. Or maybe they think, actually, she has done well, let's put her down a bit so she's a bit more on our level.
I thought Jet's views were kind of warped. Her idea of beauty certainly is. It's almost like she's bought into not just white culture, but Essex culture, if I can say that. The people that she's around, these are obviously the people she hangs around. I mean, I saw and I heard a white girl. I saw a white girl and I heard a white girl talking to me.
The problem is that people aren't honest enough or focused enough to say, I want to be white. I don't care what anybody turns around and says and argues and says, well, the reason why I want a smaller nose is because I think it will stand me in good stead. Stand you in good stead to whom? For whom? The host community who happen to be white?
Michael Jackson is the best known example of someone trying to change their race, or what's known as deracialization. He claimed his drastic change in colour was the result of vitiligo, a medical condition. Others say he lightened his skin artificially. One woman who watched his change with interest is Tahira, a 32-year-old Bangladeshi mother of 3.
Michael Jackson, I love his colour. I mean, I just want to know what type of thing he used, to become that colour.
Tahira feels intense pressure from her community to have lighter skin. She constantly compares herself to her fair-skinned Bangladeshi husband.
You can see the colour difference. When we go out, Asian people compare us, like, he's too white and I'm too dark. Like, he's fair and good looking and I'm dark and ugly. How did they, get together?
Tahira spends most of her time at home, fearful of the prejudice within her own community. Her 12-year-old daughter, Tamina, is hurt by the hatred her mother faces.
When I go to the market with my mum, sometimes if there's loads of Asians there, they look at her and they'll sometimes laugh, or they'll talk about her colour and everything, that she's not pretty and she's ugly because she's dark. She gets really upset and sometimes she'd even cry. I think my mum is pretty no matter what colour she is. Look at her features, she's really pretty. Because well, I don't like talking about it either because it just makes me upset and angry that people think like that about my mum just because she's dark. I just want her to be happy if she could get something to be done with her.
Michael Jackson completely transformed the colour of his skin. Will Tahira follow in the footsteps of her hero? There are major differences in the facial features of different racial groups. Asian faces tend to be more rounded, with prominent noses. Oriental faces typically have narrow eyes and flatter features. Black faces tend to have wider noses and thicker lips. The white face, however, is held up by many as the ideal.
The idea that a broad nose and woolly curly hair is ugly goes back hundreds of years when the Europeans were defining among themselves what was the ideal of beauty, and they arrived at the Greek Roman classical body. So the Western classical idea of beauty contrasted very violently against the reality of the African body.
29-year-old Jet has her own ideas about beauty. She aspires to conform to the ultimate Western icon.
I have a Barbie doll in my bathroom all the time, and here she is. I've always wanted to look like Barbie since I was a little girl. I think that is like a perfect woman. She's got nice long hair, which is down to her waist. Brilliant white teeth and long eyelashes. She has a very straight nose, no lump, and it's very pointed, and actually she has that tip there. That is the perfect nose. My idea of beauty is just a more European look is a lot prettier than an African, like a black African look. I've got a typical, historically African nose, which obviously I got from my parents, where it flares at the side with a bobble and quite wide, but obviously it doesn't fit in with my look, and I'd like to have more sort of Caucasian looking nose so that it can all sort of blend in, really.
28-year-old Mun is also envious of white faces. He's from northwest Kent, an area with a history of racial tension. He still lives at home with his parents, wife and 1-year-old daughter. While he makes a living as a surveyor, he aspires to work full-time as a model, but he's frustrated that his Asian features are holding him back.
You know, it's funny, people accept you more when they think you're European or you're Hispanic or something. You know, it's quite strange how people would actually want to talk to you and be your friend more because you fit in, you're one of them. It's disgusting, but everybody judges a book by its cover.
He is trying to achieve more of a white Caucasian look. That's the word he uses, that's how he wants to look. Basically only because like his features are more Asian and not so, like they say, like more a European type. I've been with him to these castings and I get to hear this.
Mun is convinced he needs to look more European to make it in the modelling industry. He's already had some cosmetic surgery to make his nose thinner and laser liposuction on his jaw to increase definition. But now he hopes to go further, making his nose even thinner and his jawline less chubby.
I've had the jawline done, the skin underneath here slightly tightened and round here, which will need to be done again because I'm still not happy with it. I want it to be sort of like that, and at the moment it's sort of soft jawline. It needs to be really made chiseled.
Deracialization surgery is thriving across the globe. No facial feature is off limits, from nose jobs in Iran to lip reductions in America. South Korea is the capital of this new industry. The BK Clinic in Seoul is one of the busiest. They have 20 full-time surgeons, 14 admission rooms and 17 operating theatres.
This is room 1, performing eyelid surgery. Room number 2, the eyelid surgery. Number 3, double eyelid surgery. And the next room is number 4, double eyelid surgery.
An estimated 1 in 10 adults in South Korea has had cosmetic surgery. The most common request is the double eyelid procedure.
Asian people don't have big double fold and they have small eyes. The Caucasian people can open their eyes bigger and they have a big double fold. Asian people don't have the similar face with Caucasian people.
Some scientists believe that the single eyelid evolved in Oriental populations to protect their eyes from the harsh sunlight, strong winds and cold temperatures of Central Asia.
After this procedure, it makes her eyes look bigger. We're almost there.
Another procedure that's popular is known as face smashing, where round Oriental faces are given a more Western look. The cheekbone is cut in 2 places, pushed inwards and lifted to give the face more definition. The jawline is made more angular by cutting a slice off the bone and removing it from the mouth.
Almost all the Asian people want to have the appearance like this. They like the slender, nice appearance and smaller face.
Westernization is so widespread that Dr. Kim has even had surgery himself.
I did some surgeries on my face. This picture is taken when I was 40. This is taken when I was 46 now. My operation has been changed my face more westernized, more younger and westernized appearance.
Mun is also after a more westernized look. Today he's meeting Mr. Vadadaria, the surgeon who performed his previous operation. There are no guidelines in the UK governing how far surgeons can alter ethnic features, as long as it is medically safe and the patient is making an informed choice.
I don't want to look like the typical Indian boy, what people look at and say, oh, well, look at him. I want to blend in, you know, to fit in, to be accepted more.
So what do you want to do now?
I want the jawline to be very prominent, very strong, like as a very sharp feature.
Yeah.
A lot of this fat and this tissue to be taken out, if possible.
Yeah.
So it'd be a lot shallower.
So do you agree with the process of westernisation?
I would call it globalization than westernization. And yes, you know.
So if someone said that the work that you do is deracialising ethnic minorities to look more Caucasian, how would you respond to that?
Well, I think it would be confrontation, I suppose. You know, I think people are trying to adapt to each other's environment and each other's society. If an Asian person would live in white Caucasian society, and if he feels that, you know, one or two features of his body needs to be modified, and if it is possible within reasons and within the scope of plastic surgery, I think it should be sympathetically considered.
How dare anybody turn around and say, my nose is too big? I would like a Caucasian nose. I'd like to look whiter. You might as well just bloody paint yourself white and get out of the black race. I'm sick of these people who keep on using excuses, who keep on trying to say, well, you know, I love being black, but. Well, if you love being black, stay the way you are.
For Tahira, the political arguments have little effect. She's desperate to find a way to lighten her skin, and the pressures coming from her own community. In Asian society, the fairer your skin, the more beautiful you are perceived to be. Darker skin is associated with lower castes.
They're just all fairness cream, like to make you look white.
Are you concerned that you don't know what you're putting on?
I'm just taking my own risk and trying it, basically. So far, nothing's happened.
Tahira rarely leaves the house, worried that she'll be judged by the colour of her skin.
Asian people are quite racist, you know, because, I mean, you wouldn't pick on your own people, would you? No, so, but they do.
We grew up in these colonial societies where colour, there was a hierarchy of colour. Even today in the Caribbean, in Africa, in India, certainly in Britain, skin tone it's still a critical factor in separating people and saying who are debased and who are worthy of attention.
Today, Tahira's in East London, where she hopes to find some new skin lightening products. Illegal creams are on sale in a few of the shops. The black market is worth millions of pounds a year. Creams can contain toxic substances, such as hydroxyquinone.
It wasn't on the shelf, it was under the counter, basically. It's herbal fair cream. She said you can only buy this in Pakistan. It cost me £30. There's no ingredients on it whatsoever.
Aren't you really, really worried that you could damage your skin and scar it permanently?
With me, is like I like to try it out first, and then if I start getting something, side effects or, you know, skin burn, then I'd stop that product and then just leave it, try something else. Otherwise, I mean, if I don't see anything wrong, then I'll just continue.
Even within Asian culture and within African Caribbean culture, there's this stupid colonial slave type mentality taught to us by white people because they're superior. They came along, they civilized us, they showed us the way it should be, and the way to be civilized is to be like us, be white like us.
In white Britain, Mun feels his Asian features make him stick out. His obsession with blending in dates back to his childhood.
When I first started to school, it was just name calling, you know, you pecky or do a red Indian dance. You know, there had to be a constant reminder I was different. Then the bullies started to get a little bit braver.
He suffered a series of brutal racial attacks while still at school. On one occasion, a gang of white youths were carrying weapons.
All I remember was like a white flash of light. That white flash of light was an iron bar, and basically the bar struck across my face, knocked the front two teeth out. Even up to today, God forbid, if anybody had done that same to my child, I would do time in prison. I would physically hurt somebody.
Mun returns to the scene of the attack for the first time in 11 years.
So is this where it happened?
Mm-hmm. This is where it happened. Basically, from here is where my whole life turned around.
What was that?
You terrorist, Paki or something. This area, this is exactly what you expect. It just shows you the mentality of the people, the racism and the hatred. It's been 11 years, nothing's changed.
Jet has also been a victim of physical violence. In her case, the attackers were black, a vicious girl gang from East London. Since that day, Jet has been keen to escape her black roots. Her nose job is just one more step towards fitting into the white world.
There's about 20 black girls. They all came out of the bushes, came out of all different directions, and just got me up against this wall. And there's nothing I could do. I was on the floor, and they were stamping on my head, kicking me. They tore some of my hair out. They cut my legs and my face. That incident actually hurt my nose, and that's where I got my little lump from. It puts me off of going to all black places, like all black nightclubs and stuff like that. That's the way I feel. It panics me to be in an all black situation now. It's just like leaving the old self behind. I mean, this nose has a lot of bad memories. Obviously, where I was attacked, it was broken, so that's why it's wonky. And every time I look in the mirror and see it, it does remind me of those times. Once I have my nose done, I think it will have closure and all the bad things that have happened in the past.
Mun is also after closure. The racial violence has left a deep impression.
Well, if you look at the bastards I had a problem with in the past, they were white racist pricks, basically had a chip on their shoulder about life and about anybody. I was an easy target. I looked like this small little weedy guy.
For Mun, the best way of getting back at his attackers is by succeeding in the white world. He thinks he'll get his revenge by reaching the top of his chosen profession, modelling.
If you look at those losers, they're nothing, they're scum. I'm going places and I look the part as well. And I feel like saying, look at you and look at me. What have you done since your life of bullying people, beating Asian guys up and making yourself feel good? What have you done?
32-year-old Tahira is desperate to lighten her skin. The recent batch of creams has not worked. Her family is becoming concerned about her behaviour.
I just wish I was white, not black.
How often do you think about your colour?
I think about it all the time, you know, how I can change my skin colour, what to do about my skin colour.
She get depressed sometimes. You know, she's in depression, always thinking about colour. Yeah, I told a lot of time, I am happy with you, so why are you thinking about your colouring thing?
What I dream about is how to look white, how to become white, how to look white and beautiful, I guess.
Whiteness equals power, equals glamour, equals success. So there is that constant mental anguish, that constant mental toothache, as it were, yes? Now that must create such suffering, mental suffering, that it's almost unimaginable unless you actually inhabit that skin.
Mun aspires to be a mainstream model. So far, a lot of his work has come from Asian fashion shows. He thinks his facial features are holding him back and is planning more surgery, but not everyone agrees.
Why is this thing in your head that you need to change the way you look and change your features and change the structure of your face to look more Caucasian? You're not Caucasian.
No,
you want to look Caucasian.
No, because it's not more Caucasian, it's more mainstream.
So do you want to look non-Asian?
No, I'm proud of being Indian, but I want to refine my features so I can lose certain characteristics what I don't like, which unfortunately those characteristics, a big nose and, you know, a fat chubby face, are Asian.
Human nature dictates that people want to be part and fit in the mainstream. Mun, don't do it. The perception, yes, that he wants to fit into, he's living in a foreign country or perceived to be a foreign country. Don't sell out, be proud of who you are. It's what you are.
How would you react to people to say, you're selling out, you're losing your Indian heritage, you're trying to erase your own cultural identity?
I would say one word to them: wake up. Wake up, look around you. How many Indian models do you see who's done international stuff? Why wouldn't I do it? At least go for my goals. At least I've actually got a dream.
It's the day before Jet's operation and she's having some last-minute nerves. Black noses are particularly difficult to reshape because of their thicker skin and cartilage.
I haven't been able to sleep for the last couple of weeks properly, and especially last night. I got up in the middle of the night, and I think tonight I probably won't actually sleep at all. It has definitely affected me quite a lot because it's not a small thing, it's a major thing.
Some people say that the features that you are changing about your nose are the Afro-Caribbean features, so that in a way you are saying that black noses are unattractive. What do you think about that?
I don't want to be sending out the wrong message, you know, because I'm not saying that black noses are unattractive. They just don't look perfect, you know, and I think, you know, I'm just perfectionist, so I think it's good to change it.
You could surrender to the little voice in your head which is telling you that you're black, you're brown, you're inferior, you should be white, you should be white, you should be white. God, why am I not white? Why am I not white? What have I done wrong not to be white? And therefore, what you can do is pick yourself up and try to become white. You could deny the company and the companionship of people of your own ethnicity. You could change your accent. You could go and do surgery.
The next morning, Jet travels to a hospital somewhere in West London for her operation.
The operation costs $3,500 altogether. Just counting all the cash that I need to pay him when I get there.
Loads of money.
So it's 1, 2, 3.5. This nose that I have now just doesn't go with my lifestyle, the environment I live in, you know, the clothes I wear, and you know, the circles I socialise in. It just doesn't go. It looks like a poor nose. It doesn't look, you know, elegant or anything like that. Bye, I say goodbye now because you can't come in, so see you later.
Jet's surgeon declined to take part in this film. Mun's plans for surgery have been put on hold. There's a medical complication. Until he sees a specialist about his breathing problem, his plastic surgeon won't operate.
I'm getting really fucked off with the situation. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I'm having my operation or not having my operation. And it's the idea of not knowing or on weight is the thing what annoys me. I'm a father of one, and I've got a second child on the way, my wife's pregnant. You know, how much more can one person take?
I do want it to really finish off now, like for it to happen and for him to be 100% happy and not complain any more about it.
But there is another option for Mun. Increasingly, large numbers of British Asians are going back to India and Pakistan for surgery, where it's cheaper.
I'm feeling quite nervous right now. What if my nose gets messed up?
29-year-old student Najib is returning to Pakistan, the country of his birth, for a nose job. He wants to look more Western and avoid discrimination against Muslims.
Since 9/11, people's perspective about Asian people and especially Muslim people, they have changed. If you look more Asian, you're more likely to be stop and search. So, like, people's minds have changed since the bombings.
Najib feels that unless he looks more Caucasian, he'll struggle to find work in the UK.
It'd be much easier for people if they look like each other. The most important thing for me is, like, right now I want to work in the Western world. And I think the only way I can do it is like having my plastic surgery.
In Britain, nose jobs cost as much as £4,000. Here, they're only £1,000. Najib's operation will be performed by Dr. Humayun, one of Pakistan's leading cosmetic surgeons.
How are you? I'm doing fine.
Please have a seat.
So, could you predict like how will my nose look like from?
I don't do any predictions. I can only do my best. Your nose would be better in 3 or 4 ways. Number 1, your hump would not be there or reduced. Number 2, your broad nose from here would go down.
That's what I want.
Your broad tip will go down and you would have an improvedness. How much improvements? About 50% plus minus.
Dr. Humayun thinks that Najib's desire for a very thin European nose is unrealistic, but he's happy to make some changes.
See you after surgery is finished, okay? Best of luck.
Now I'm giving the cut. This is called step ladder. It's just like a small little step. People are becoming aware of this procedure in Pakistan from the time the media in Pakistan become very look conscious. That is when people started to get aware of all these programs like Oprah Winfrey and Nip and Tuck and the reality shows. If we see, that's roughly how it is looking. You can see this tip is coming up, you can see it's going down. You can see it's going down, so that's exactly where I would like for the tip. Okay, good.
I've been thinking about this for the last 10 years. I don't know how my nose will come out in the end. I hope it's okay. Because I want to succeed in life.
With images of white beauty so dominant around the world, the pressure to conform is immense. Tahira's ignoring her family, who want her to stop using skin lightening creams. Instead, she's seeking professional help and seeing Dr. Otto, a Harley Street specialist.
The way this product works is it blocks the enzyme
that is responsible for pigment or melanin production. Your cells, your melanocytes, will produce less pigment and you'll get a skin lightening effect, right?
How white will I get?
You probably become one skin type lighter. So if we say today you're a skin type 5, you might become skin type 4.
Yeah.
Okay, you can expect to notice something in a fortnight, maybe even less.
Oh,
And it will then be gradual after that.
You don't know what Michael Jackson uses, do you?
I don't know. But also, it took time. It didn't happen overnight.
No.
I think if we go back over the years, you'll see it was also gradually. You know?
Oh, right.
It wasn't a 1 week thing or a 2 week or 3 week thing, you know. So, we're ready to go.
Some people would say that lightening skin colour is deracialization. Does that concern you in any way? Or?
Well, I would not necessarily agree with that, because if one look at different ethnic population groups, you can have a variety of skin tone and skin color. You can have very light and very darker skin types within a same ethnic population. The patient was referring to some of her own family that had lighter skin types, and that's what she wanted. She just wanted to look like them. Just have a look.
Mm-hmm. Just hope it works and I get white. White.
The day after Jet's operation, she's back at home recovering. Black skin is 15 times more likely than Caucasian skin to develop keloid scars, which are often dark and difficult to get rid of.
I'm feeling just a little bit tired, very tired actually. I think I'm still wearing off from the anaesthetic.
Yesterday at the hospital, what was running through your head? What were you thinking when you were lying there?
Well, when I was lying there and I was actually crying, they did ask me why I was crying, and I said because I just don't want you to make me look ugly. Whatever you do, don't make me look ugly. I didn't care about dying, I just worried about looking ugly. My mum was here last night, and first thing she said, you look like Michael Jackson. And I said, no, I don't look like Posh Spice. She went, no, you look like Michael Jackson. I went, no, look. She went, Michael Jackson. She went, look at the front. And she was laughing. I think she was heartbroken because she could see like the bruises and everything. She said, is this the last thing you're going to have done? So I was thinking about having lipo. She went, no, don't you dare. So she went, you know, going under again, no. She doesn't like it. But she thinks I look like Michael.
For 3 days now, Tahira has been applying the cream she got from the clinic. It costs around £400, and so far she feels there's no change.
It's foundation cream, basically, and it's like you can feel it's drying inside, but a bit stickiness outside. Apart from that, it's just like normal cream. It's only been 3 days, but I can't see any difference.
Jet is also worried about the outcome of her procedure. Her face is swollen up. She's got blurred vision out of one eye, and she's on heavy painkillers.
I'm feeling very anxious about my nose. By the time the bandages come off, it could be completely different. And also, there's going to be scarring. And because obviously being black, you get keloid scarring, which is scars that don't blend into your skin, they stay dark. I could have that, anything could go wrong.
It's been a week since Jet's nose operation. She's been stuck at home and is having trouble sleeping.
I think it was like the second day, I was like, I looked in the mirror and I said to myself, what have I done? You know, my mum was heartbroken. You know, we've all got the same nose in our family. Then I just couldn't stop being like negative about it all. Didn't have any tears left, but I was just very negative about it. And I said, why am I doing this? You know, I was beautiful before, my family knows, you know, why have I cut my nose off? Why the fuck have I got to change my looks, my nose that I've been born with, and actually I was quite beautiful the way I was before, just to fit in with a European society? It's fucking appalling.
The next morning, Jet's in a better mood. Today she'll have her cast removed at a London clinic.
I just don't want you to make me look ugly. Whatever you do, don't make me look ugly.
You've got your new nose and you've had the bandages taken off. How do you feel?
I'm really happy. I can't smile yet because I've still got a few stitches like inside the nose. I am over the moon with my nose. I feel prettier. I don't feel conscious of my big black nose that I had before. Before I felt like I had like a Joker's nose. You know when they have the clowns, they wear glasses and they've got this big nose at the end of it? That's how my nose was before. That's how I feel like it was. But it's better now. It's much better now.
Six weeks ago, Tahira was given a treatment she hoped would lighten her skin and change her life. Every day she's been taking a photo of herself, looking for any change.
I've been using the cream for 6 weeks now, just over 6 weeks, and I don't see any difference, or none of my families do. It still looks the same.
Tahira's 12-year-old daughter, Tamina, finally confronts her mother over her obsession with skin lightening creams.
I don't think you should keep doing this because like this treatment taking ages and ages. There's no point like wasting all this time. Like you should just like move on and ignore what people say. Colour isn't like everything.
Yeah, but it is to people.
Yeah, that's people.
Yeah, that's people. People is important. They like you because you're fair and beautiful, and whatever you wear.
They see their face, look at their teeth and everything. So why don't you get your teeth fixed or get a nose job or something?
Oh, because I'm not that type of person.
They shouldn't talk to you like that, then, should they?
But they will, because I have a problem. My skin colour is my problem. People will talk about it. You can't stop them. How many people are you going to stop?
Mun is still waiting for his surgeon to give him the go-ahead for his operation. Although he's frustrated it's taking a long time, he knows he'll eventually achieve that European look and draws comfort from a 21st century icon.
I adored Michael Jackson. It's such a shame that he passed on. Looking at what he's achieved in his life, he is a legend and he will be remembered for years and years and years. I think he done a great thing and he opened the window, the doors to everybody for surgery. You know, it's available to everybody, and if you're not happy with a black nose or an Asian nose, you can transform it.
Tahira's family has finally given up trying to stop her using skin lightening creams.
When I see my mum upset, it does like upset me at times. But a lot of the time I just like try to ignore it because I know she's going to get upset.
And what do you think if your mum just says, I'm going to carry on and keep going and keep going? What do you think about
that? It's up to my mum if she still like wants to carry on. But it's up to her really.
Reluctantly, her daughter is now helping her to find new products around the world.
I don't think I'll ever stop dreaming that I'd be white one day, you know. I'd always have that in my head that maybe one day, you know, one morning I'll get up and see myself even a bit of white, you know. But I don't think I'll ever stop thinking of dreaming of being white. Even if I have to stop using products, I mean, okay, but I mean, no one can take your dreams away, can they?
For most of her life, Jet has struggled with her Caribbean nose, but she now feels she has a face that matches her ambitions.
My nose that I had before definitely made me look like I was poor. It didn't make me look rich, and now I feel better, I feel confident, you know, I feel wealthier automatically for some reason. I've had to work very hard to look this good. You know, not everyone's born with a silver spoon in their mouth like they have around here. People have given me a lot more respect now since I had my nose done. And, you know, it's definitely boosted my confidence, definitely. I'm very happy I can walk into Waitrose. You know, I just think that I can walk down this street now with my head held up high.
Michael Jackson's facial transformation was the most extraordinary example of someone wanting to change their race. At the time, it was shrouded in secrecy, but today, this form of plastic surgery has become far more acceptable.
I understand the patients coming from ethnic minority requesting for changing their body image or facial features so that they can blend well with white, local, Caucasian society. It is a part of globalization process where the ethnic differences are going to be narrower and narrower.
As long as white ideals of beauty dominate global culture, many will feel the pressure to alter their ethnic features. With technology opening new surgical frontiers, deracialization will become that much easier. Are we all heading for the same homogenized look? The perfect white body?
If you've been affected by any of the issues raised in this programme, please visit our website at channel4.com/race and science. With 3 generations under one roof, sparks fly tomorrow night at 9 in a new series of The Family. Next on 4, it's Darren's Trick of the Mind.